back, everybody, to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin, the man here himself. We are out of studio tonight, but we're still going to bring you a good college video. It is time to talk some college football. We always start out with a little Tennessee.
And do you want to go ahead and jump into this game?
Let's jump right into this game. Tennessee went down to
Oklahoma. It was quite the scene. Let me tell you that much.
It was quite the scene. It was loud. There was a lot of Tennessee people there, but it was a loud crowd, big crowd. Decibels reach up to like 117. It was a very good game, a very good environment. And
Tennessee's defensive line was the standout.
Tennessee stood out defensively. It's funny, Coach Heupel actually pulled the offense back because the defense was winning the game. That's great for us Tennessee fans.
But do you wish you would have been a bit more aggressive, though?
Well, you're always happier scoring more points, but as Tennessee fans now, we know we can win defensively. We don't have to have the offense to score 40 points. Now scoring 25 against Georgia or Alabama might not be enough. We don't know, but I think we probably could have scored another touchdown or two if we would have really pushed our luck. But we still won by 10 points.
Oklahoma couldn't do anything.
No,
for a good chunk of the game.
It's Tennessee's first win over a top 15 foe in the AP Top 25 since defeating number 10 Georgia in 2006, October 7th.
Fulmer and Richt. That's a while back, ain't it?
That was a long time ago.
Fulmer versus Richt. That brings you back those days.
That was a very, very, very long time ago. Let's see, where is it here? Said Heupel's 10 wins over ranked foes since the start of 2021 season is the third most against active coaches. So we have the third most top. The Heupel's 10 wins over ranked foes. We have the third most wins over ranked foes since 2021. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. Let's see here. There was another one I had that I thought was pretty good. And I can't find it, of course. Searching through the notes. Yeah, Tennessee has been ranked in the top 5 6 times since the departure of Phil Fulmer. All 6 times have been during Heupel's time.
Doesn't it just feel a little an emphatic point?
Yes. So I think that Tennessee has finally arrived. I'm not saying we're going to win the national championship, but I am saying we have a chance to. Honestly, at the beginning of this year, I didn't think we had a chance to. I thought we were a 9-3 team. Probably our ceiling was 10-2.
The highest point of our year, but
would be 10-2.
We're 4-0, so I mean, I can't complain about.
It's the way we've won, though. We've won defensively. We haven't beat teams 52-49. Our defense has shut them down. I mean, they didn't give up a touchdown in 19 quarters.
That NC State game, though, doesn't look very great right now, but we still held them 51-10.
Maybe we just killed the team. I mean, look at Oklahoma. We knocked out their starting quarterback. Now they got a freshman starting next week. So I don't know. Tennessee's defense may just honestly be that good.
Oklahoma's D-line ain't really slouchy either. Let me tell you that much.
No. Oklahoma's D-line was spectacular.
It was Brent Venable's special.
Tennessee's cornerback Gerard McCoy had 48 coverage snaps, 0 catches allowed, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. The passer rating against him was 0.0.
Well done.
That's a DB.
Well done.
That is a DB. So we have brought in some talent. I said we had 19 consecutive quarters without
allowing a touchdown.
Tennessee's Dylan Sampson now has 10 rushing TDs. This Tennessee single, which leads the country, and Tennessee's single season record is 18.
I think he'll reach very closely against Arkansas coming up.
Now, the games going on here on out are going to get you're going to have your Alabamas, you're going to have your Georgias, we're going to get deep into SEC play. We ain't going to be able to run Maybe as good against those teams as we have to this point, but he has a very good chance to beat that 18. He has a very good bet. Especially if he does have a good weekend against Arkansas this weekend. Tennessee's defense through 4 games. The total yards 704. Not in one game. That's all 4 of them put together. They're averaging 176 a game. Passing yards, they gave up 501 passing yards, or 125 a game. Rushing yards, they gave up 203. 203 rushing yards in 4 games total. I told you, my bold pick at the beginning of the season was what? Tennessee would be the best rushing defense in the SEC.
And, well, they definitely proved it against Oklahoma because
Let
me put this in emphasis. They couldn't do anything offensively until they switched quarterbacks.
We're only average giving up 7 points a game, which is our defense is just incredibly dominant.
Of course, there is time for Nico to improve, more so down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. Nico, I said, Nico, and I've said this from the beginning, too. I think his talent-wise, is the best quarterback in the country, but he's young still yet. He has the potential to be the best quarterback Tennessee's ever had, to be honest. I mean, Peyton Manning's way up there, but Nico has the potential to be in that same level, but he's still just a redshirt freshman. He's a glorified sophomore, basically. He's only played 5 games now. He's only started 5 games. He's only had 1 road game. He's going to have some learning curve. He's got a learning curve. He's going to have some bumps in the road. He's going to have some problem reading some defense until he gets used to it, used to the speed. And as he gets into the SEC, everything gets faster and everybody gets better. So we have to be patient with Nico. We have to be patient with the passing game. I mean, I know it's cool putting up 50, 60, 70 points, but we probably can't do that against SEC opponents. Maybe some of them, but not all of them. So, we have to be patient with that. The good thing is our defense is good enough to win if our offense only scores 25 points. So, our defense right now is first in total defense, second in rushing defense, and second in third down defense. Only 2 TDs allowed in the last 20 quarters, and those 2 TDs were trash time TDs.
Garbage time, deliver the truck.
They were garbage time TDs. I said Gerard McCoy has been named the Jim Thorpe National Defensive Player of the Week for the job that he did. This is Oklahoma's first half drive chart to tell you how good our defense was. 7 plays, 24 yards out on downs. 3 plays, 3 yards punt. 3 plays, 14 yards interception. Their scoring drive all the way up until the middle of the fourth quarter. 10 plays, 55 yards, and a field goal. Next one, 4 plays, 22 yards, punt. Next play, 1 yard, fumble. Next yard, 1 play, safety. Next one, 3 plays, negative 2 yards, punt. Next time, 1 play, negative 20 yards, fumble. Next play, 3 yards, 3 plays, 6 yards, punt.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
That can't be just Oklahoma's offense being bad. That is Tennessee's defense making them look that bad, dude.
I think you got a point, possibly.
I said at the beginning of the year, we went to the last scrimmage of the year and watched our offense versus defense. Our defense looked better than our offense, and we were thinking to ourselves, "Oh, is our offense still off a little bit, or is our defense that good?" Our defense is that good. Our offense is spectacular. Our defense is that good. So
Just might need to fix the O-line.
That's our little problem. We're gonna have a little problem through that. The highest graded run defenders from week forward was Joshua Josephs. He was rated at 99.3, and Heupel has been named the Bearbright Coach of the Week. Gerard McCoy's up for he's on the watch list for the Jim Thorpe. He was the National DB of the Week. It's all just working great. The SEC Special Teams Player of the Week was Matt Gilbert for us.
Because he produced almost all of our offense.
He was hitting everything. Sampson, it said is off to a breakout year. He's got 10 rushing TDs, first in the SEC and national. 449 yards, second in the SEC. 112 yards rushing games per game, sets in the second in the SEC. 129.75 total yards, third in the SEC. 6.51 yards per carry, fifth in the SEC. So, like I said, Dylan Sampson, and we've said from the very beginning, is this team's Alvin Kamara. He's that good. I've said from the beginning he is that good. Let's see here. That's probably about the end of my Tennessee stuff.
Yep, that was a really solid win, though, overall.
One little upgrade. Josh Heupel has stated that he believes that Lance Hurd, which we haven't had Lance Hurd for the last 2 games on our offensive line, and John Campbell will both be back in time for the Arkansas game. So,
which is, very needed.
Tennessee is on a bye this week. We needed that bye week. We had some injuries in that offensive line, so we needed that. But to
summarize the good chunk of time that we spent, Tennessee had a really solid performance. And they kind of played conservative football, really.
They played conservative and still pulled the line. They were only favored by 7.5 to start, 6.5. So at kickoff, so they look good. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the games from the last week.
Ohio State just plays another inferior opponent. And
Marshall, yeah, they took care of Marshall. They should have took care of Marshall. They played with them a little bit, but then pulled away at the end. And another Big Ten team playing with a nobody.
Big game, James.
Kent State, Penn State.
I feel bad for Kent State
56
They lose 71-0 against Tennessee, and the very next week they lose 56-0. They got outscored 127-0.
Well, they are ranked like 133. And they're bad.
I just feel bad for them.
How much money did they make those 2 weeks? I'd like to see. I didn't check to see what their payout would be. I guarantee you.
I hope it was a lot for their sake.
Really, the game of the week, other than the Tennessee game, was USC at Michigan. I thought Michigan was a little bit toast, maybe.
But do you know what was toast at the end of it? USC's running defense. Do you know how many rushing yards they allowed in this game?
How many?
290.
Oh, 290 rushing yards in one game?
Michigan only passed for 32 yards.
And won?
Defense
also had a little bit of a...
Michigan had a pick six that did help.
The pick six. USC came in, I don't know, maybe thinking they had it won, and Michigan outgritted them. They just outgritted them. And
they ran for a bajillion yards because USC couldn't stop the one thing Michigan was good at offensively.
Plus, USC's offensive line is...
having problems.
Couldn't hold up to to Michigan's defense line. So that might be a weakness they have. So
in the Big Ten play, they got to fix that problem.
But congrats to Michigan. I mean, a lot of people, including me, had almost put them out to pasture.
But they literally ran away with this game.
They ran away with the game. They ran through it and ran over it, yeah. We had Utah, Okie State. That went the opposite way I thought too, because Utah didn't have their starting quarterback.
The 3-point win was deceiving because Utah controlled it throughout the whole game.
From the start to the finish.
Even with a backup quarterback.
So that speaks volumes for Utah. Utah is looking like... they're sitting in the driver's seat for a playoff now.
In the Big 12 right now, especially. That was a big one for them, the Utes.
That was a big one. The surprise of the week, Vanderbilt, poor Vandy, went to Missouri, took them to overtime, and then missed a field goal. Kudos, though, to Vandy for fighting. Vandy's got some scrap this year. I don't know what happened with Georgia State, but...
Yeah, that Georgia State. Let's just ignore
that game. Vanderbilt has played good other than the Northern Georgia State. So, I mean...
Is it that, or is Missouri trending towards overrated category?
They're in the wishy-washy. They're in the... They could have been overrated. I'm not positive they're overrated, but there's a chance.
I mean, when you go to 2 overtimes against Vanderbilt, that doesn't exactly...
Yeah, and Vandy has to miss a field goal for you to win? I don't know, Missouri. We'll have to watch out. One of the teams that did not let us down, Miami, South Florida. Miami's looking good.
Miami looks really, really good.
Miami looks playoff bound also.
Do you know why they're called the Hurricanes, Dad?
Oh, they tore through South Florida.
Why'd you make that joke with all the stuff going on?
Sorry about that. But Miami tore through South Florida. We had Georgia Southern, Ole Miss. Ole Miss ain't played anybody yet either. But 52-13, they did what they're supposed to do. We will see here in a couple weeks when they play Texas.
And then LSU sometime around there.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. And then we had K-State get the juices stomped out of them by BYU. K-State had gained more yards, but they had so many turnovers they lost by 29.
Let me give you some of the. Maybe I can remember Dad pointing out 2 straight interceptions to a middle linebacker that led to 14 points, and then immediately after they punt, on the next drive, they give up a punt return touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a 21-point swing right there.
A 21-point swing.
That is a massive...
It's hard for your offense to overcome that.
I mean, especially when you get the crap kicked out of you by BYU on the road.
Mm-hmm. Now, BYU's not a bad team, but dang
now.
29 points.
Texas steamrolls UL Monroe. Arch Manning had his first start.
Yeah, and he jumped out and looked like a Manning.
Well, I mean, you got Manning on the back. You got that aura around you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he had a good start, and Ewers is still a little banged up. There's not been a starter picked for this weekend's game yet. Do
you think Archer's going to get the nod here?
I don't know. It depends on if Ewers is still injured or not. I really don't know.
Our first one of this upcoming week.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about week 5. We got some Friday top 10.
Miami hosts Virginia Tech.
Miami should take care of them pretty easy. Virginia Tech did lose to Vanderbilt. They're not going to live that down for a while now.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Miami's favored by 17 and a half. So I honestly think that Miami should pull that. Let's see, what have they done? They've won by 35, 62, 47, and 34 so far this year. So I think they might pull 17 against.
Yeah, Miami's offense looks like a machine.
Right now, probably the Heisman favorite is their quarterback.
Cam Ward looks outstanding.
Ward. Yeah, Cam Ward. Florida State passed up on him.
And they got DJ the ukulele. Now on to Saturday. We got us a 12 o'clock game between Ole Miss and Kentucky.
Yeah, I actually think this is going to be a good game. The line's 16 points. Kentucky's going to try. Kentucky plays decent defense. They held Georgia. I don't know. That line is right on the verge of me not liking it. 16 points is a lot of points, but Ole Miss has been beating the doors off of people too. I just don't think it's going to be that big of a spread. Shoot, let's take Ole Miss.
Let's take Ole Miss in the spread.
Let's take Ole Miss.
Then we got Michigan hosting Minnesota. Big Ten game, so Michigan is favored by 10. I don't think I'm going to pick that.
No.
They haven't shown much ability to beat people by double digits.
Minnesota's not a bad team either. Yeah, that might be a little bit. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a too much there.
And now we have USC and Wisconsin, and I think I'll pick the Trojans.
I'm going to pick the Trojans here. I guarantee you they're not happy that they lost that game in Michigan. They're going to try to prove a point, and Wisconsin is on their backup quarterback because their starter got hurt in game 1.
That's a debilitating loss.
Yeah, this is one of the really good games of the week. Not a lot of people talking about Louisville at Notre Dame.
That's going to be a huge playoff possible. I don't know about Notre Dame, but Notre Dame really needs a win like this.
Notre Dame is still trending to maybe make the playoffs, believe it or not. Louisville's beat some, I don't know.
They beat some all right teams. They beat Georgia Tech last week.
Mm-hmm. And Notre Dame's, they beat.
The Irish are favored by 7. Do you want to pick that?
I probably would, yeah. I don't know that much about Louisville. We'd probably stick with Notre Dame. We got Mississippi State, Texas.
Mississippi State is really bad.
Mississippi State really is bad. Texas is
pretty good.
Pretty good. That's why I'm saying they still might start Arch because, I don't think he could screw this game up. I don't care how much of a
37-point line. You want to pick it?
Yeah, and Texas is going to destroy them. We got Ohio State, Michigan State.
Well, at last they play.
They actually play somebody that's not a school for small children or anything. They actually play somebody with people that weigh over 100 pounds on it. Ohio State's playing Michigan State at Michigan State. Michigan State's coming off of a loss.
And you want to pick the Bucks?
They're not that good though.
You want to pick the Bucks?
Ohio State should win that one.
Oh my goodness!
The game of the week.
I've been waiting to get to this one.
The game of the week. Number 2 Georgia at
number 4 Alabama.
Number 4 Alabama.
First serious test for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what do you think about this one? Georgia has beat everybody. The last 3 years
they haven't lost a regular season game.
Georgia is 48-0 against everybody else and 1-3 against Alabama.
Does that bugaboo hurt them this time, even with a different coach?
There's no Nick Saban now.
That's gonna be the key.
So was the bugaboo Nick Saban or was the bugaboo Alabama?
We'll see Saturday night. And this is well deserving of a primetime slot. I give ABC credit for
so
that.
far, this is the game of the year. This is a monster
Georgia's
game.
offense has to improve from their last outing against Kentucky, or they won't win.
They squeaked out a 1-point win
against the Kentucky team that was
against
underwhelming.
Kentucky. That was sort of underwhelming, yeah. So
Alabama's come off of defeating Wisconsin by 32 points. So I think the key is going to be, is Georgia's defense going to step up to the plate?
What does Georgia normally do when they play a good opponent?
They play up to their competition level.
And when they play somebody crappy,
they play down to their level. It's like they don't get motivated every single game to win.
It's hard for Georgia to get motivated unless they play somebody.
It's been a trend with Kirby Smart's teams, just like his team players getting in trouble on the offseason.
This is basically a pick'em game. Georgia's favored by 1 right now. Oh man, what do you think?
Do you want to pick Georgia by 1 here?
I probably like Georgia. I like Georgia just because of their track record of
their defense is always going to play well.
Yeah,
that's what I was always going to think. Their defense usually plays well.
Yeah, it would be now as a Tennessee fan. I threw up a little bit in my mouth. It would be better if Alabama won.
Oh my gosh.
Because we play Alabama here in about 3 weeks, and then if we beat them, we'd get them their second loss, and they'd be out of the playoffs. And then if we did lose to Georgia, Georgia would still have 1 loss, and we would have 1 loss. So we would be tied with 1 loss with Georgia. So it would be better if, it's hard to say, if Alabama won. But I'm picking Georgia.
You're a purist, though. I think
I am.
You're going to watch Alabama and Georgia cringing a little bit. I get you.
Can both lose? Is there any way that both can lose? I don't care. But yeah, honestly, I'm probably going to slide Georgia's way just because of the team that they should be. They are the most talented. We got Illinois, Penn State.
Big game, James. We need a T-shirt.
Penn State's favored by 19.5 over.
Not against Brett Bielema. I'm not taking that line.
Oh, I like Illinois plus 19.5 on that one. That's a little bit too much. Penn State, again.
This is a big game, so what does James Franklin do?
Normally achieve on it, yeah. We got South Alabama, LSU by 180.
Should win this game, but Harold Perkins, their best defensive player, out for the year. That's going to hurt.
That's after him. He tore, was it his ACL he tore, I think?
Yep, his knee ligament.
So it's prayers for him and his family, but they're definitely going to miss him because he was fantastic. Arizona, Utah. Utah should win that one.
Very much.
The line's only 9. That depends. If Cam Rising's back,
well, if
you take that puppy. You don't know when he's going to get back, though. Oregon, UCLA, Oregon by 180.
If Oregon looked anywhere near as refreshed as they did last week, they should.
I think they might have their offensive line figured out. That's what was bugging them the most was that offensive line. But
I don't know if there's any excuse for that Utah game, though.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
Well, for all the Duck fans, I think for your sanity, I think leaving that Idaho game in the past.
I'm a Oregon. I'm not an Oregon fan, but I'm not. I like Oregon. I like Oregon.
They treated us well
So,
back when they played in Knoxville.
We just went out to Oklahoma, and some of the nicest. We heard some of the nicest fans.
Oklahoma's fan base respect.
So yeah, it was a fabulous
respect to Oklahoma's fan base. By the way,
yeah, fabulous environment, fabulous people. No quarreling, no nothing,
and the
nothing bad said.
And the Boomer Sooner was nice and straight this time around.
It was, yeah, and we both know that we're the real UT. So we're always going.
When you
we're always
talk
gonna
about Oklahoma, you take a shot at Texas.
We're always going to have that as a common bond between the two of us. Oh, I think that's for our college football this week. We hope you had a little fun with us. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're actually going to put a Groovy Baby button right here
on my face,
on Austin's face somewhere. So be sure and hit that.
I'm going to do it late,
and we'll see you
next week.